So I want to just talk about job hunting, how you can actually do it effectively as a recruiter, seasoned recruiter, professional, and also a job hunter. I've seen two aspects of the barrel, so to speak. So just a brief rundown. I looked for a lot of jobs. I found it hard to find a job that I liked. Maybe you might relate to this. I thought the pay wasn't that important. I mean, I'll make money elsewhere and I'll save the money, and that I wanted a job that I enjoyed, semi-enjoyed. You want to enjoy at least 20% of it. Enjoying every single aspect of it probably is unrealistic. So, but going back to finding a job, I used to think if I apply for 100 jobs, click apply, someone will eventually get back to me. It's called the shotgun approach. Now, apply for as many jobs, throw enough mud, it will stick. Someone will eventually get back to you. Now, what happens is there's hundreds of other people doing that. And as a recruiter, if a cover letter's looking shabby, if a CV looks wasted and no one spent enough time on it. These sort of things. You can spot them a mile off. You can also spot when people don't pick up the phone. Now, that's a big thing for a lot of recruiters. People don't pick up the phone. People don't answer the phone. Is a big thing. Also, your professional manner on the phone. If you sound disinterested, even in the slightest, or you give the wrong sort of answer. The answers are fine because we know that people are under pressure. We make it easy for them. We just get to know them. But if you sound disinterested, or oh sorry, where are you calling from? That looks so bad. If you apply for 30 jobs and then you just ring up and then someone says, oh, what did you apply for? Imagine if that one person that I'll ring and then I say, oh, you're applying for this role, and they say to me, wow, oh, thank you for getting back to me. I'm like, oh, brilliant, this is the guy for me or the girl for me. In terms of sourcing the candidate for the role, a recruiter will graft their socks off for you. They will work so hard for you if you come across well and you're worth actually selling. Now, if you're a very shy person, and you should just mention it. Look, I'm very shy. I fare terribly in interviews. They'll admire your honesty and they'll go from there. Now, going back to the approach of actually finding a position, if someone rings me, I know 100% then they're gonna genuinely. The one thing for recruiters is wasting their time. We've got limited time. We've got hundreds of people calling us and emailing us all day. I think I went away for a few days and I had 300 plus emails from different people. So you can imagine the volume that people deal with. And that's not to mention that's not the company internal email. That's just outgoing as well, mainly candidates. So going back to that, when you want to secure a position, you genuinely, really want to know about that role. The best thing to do so you don't get caught out and then you end up saying, oh, what sort of role is it? You want to ring up the actual recruiter and say, look, hi there, John. I've seen a role. I'm very interested. How do I register my interest? And they'll say, blah, 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 send your CV. You say, okay, great. I'll send my CV. Send it while you're actually on the phone and say, look, what's your email? Blah, blah, blah. I have the email written out. Send it and say, it's already in your inbox. What's the next steps? So from there, they have absolutely no choice but to actually put you forward for the vacancy. They will never hang up on you and say, blah, 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 there's no one around. Most times, it's hard to get through to a recruiter because we're meant to be on the phones a lot. Sometimes it's call monitored in certain places. So a lot of recruiters don't actually work take incoming calls, but we'd always get a message and you should say, look, what's his email? I want to send my CV over. He's definitely going to be interested. Be confident in yourself. Recruiters, we hardly hear these things and we love it. We're salespeople. We love these sort of things, this sort of talk, and we're willing to put the work in for people out there. Going on from that, so definitely work as that. Especially if you are in sales, we need to see some sort of sales aspect. The amount of people that ring me and they want to do a sales role, I'm just thinking nobody will buy from you with your lackluster. People don't buy from people that aren't so disinterested. So be proactive. We hear these stories. I tell people stories of the one employee that went down and he knocked on the actual employer's door, and then he said, "You're going to give me a job. I'll work for free for today, and just have me in for one day, and you'll definitely hire me." They're the sort of people that get the role. So you need to emulate that and go on from there. Try and actually go direct. Don't do the silly little applying on every single job. No one hires people like that. It's low quality applicants, and the jobs out there are really low quality anyway. Advertised on there, they're the roles that people can't actually fill, or lazy recruiters can't actually go out there and source the candidates and build a relationship. So don't go on job websites. They're horrible. They're rubbish. You want to actually go direct to the employers. If someone knocked on my CEO's door and gave a good speech and said, "I'll work for free one day," he would hire them. There's no vacancy in my role, but he would hire them. Yeah, and that's another place I worked at as well, the last place. And I think pretty much everywhere, private companies, if they see someone worthwhile, they will create a vacancy. Believe me.